something you learned last year. If you didn't, that's okay. I'm sure you'll pick it up real quick. Really quick, before we start actually writing things down, what is slope? What's your definition of slope? Addison?
A line on a graph.
Kind of. Kind of. It does have to do with a line on a graph, but that's not the definition of slope.
Oh, I know.
Hayden?
The rise of a line on the graph.
I can't hear. I'm sorry. Wait, what? That's slope-intercept form of an equation, so we're getting closer. Eden?
Is it rise over one, like on the line?
It's rise over run, but what is that rise over run telling us? The
Pattern. Like the pattern of the incline.
so what the constant rate is, but specifically it's the incline, the steepness, right? So we're trying to find the steepness of a line on a graph. We're going to practice first looking at graphs. We're going to create them. And then we'll look at tables where you're just given x and y values. And then we'll look at equations. So we are maybe going to touch on y equals mx plus b today if we get that far. Okay? So we're going to start out with finding slope from a graph. All right, so that's our first thing we're going to do. So this is now where you get to glue in. I've had 20 years of practice.
What?
And this is my 20th year teaching, so I've had 20 years of practice making bubbles. So we're going to glue in our first graph here. Remember, if you need glue, there's some in the back. Did anybody need colored pencils? I can put them out. Need colored pencils?
I need a bender.
I told you where you can get one. You said you were too late.
I know, but
So I got nothing for you.
I'll do it.
you're gonna go to the library.
Wait, can I actually go get one? I need one too. I have a stab on my chin. I can get him one too.
How about you get one for you?
Okay.
If he really wants one, he can be independent and go get one. But thank
Okay.
you for offering.
Miss Myers, remember?
I'm sure she has some.
Okay.
The
Yep.
door's open too.
Open because we had a weird markery smell happening in here because of the roof, whatever they're doing up there.
It smells amazing.
It smells terrible.
It's very airy.
In the hall, it smells
So we're leaving the door open today to keep those fumes out of here. Okay,
Is the air on?
Huh?
Is the air on?
I'm sure it is.
What are they doing?
Yeah, you're lazy.
Since the start of school. Yep, it's taken them a while to do it. I don't know.
We should have math. I mean,
Yeah, I don't get to decide.
oh my god.
Yeah, all you do is go in I offered, but she told me not to. All you do is say, can I have a Band-Aid? And then you go in the drawer and get one and you come back.
It's pretty easy.
I'll go.
Okay, I can't find my rulers, so we'll just use these as straight edges today. Take one and pass it on. Take one and pass it on. I'm just going to use these as straight edges. Take one and pass it on. I'll tell her that in front of you.
You gotta pass them on?
Pass on the yellow straight edge. Okay.
Right?
Yep. So go ahead and graph that line. Keep it. Oh, the extras?
I got all these. I was
I do too.
It's easy to get home.
Eighth grade was so much easier than last year.
Yes, I agree.
Okay.
Science was confusing last year.
Yes.
So
This is solid.
what we talked about briefly at the beginning, slope equals steepness of a line. We show that by doing rise, and I like to say or fall over run.
I could go to the nurse and get more.
No thanks.
No.
I want you in class.
What do you use it for?
It's your straight edge. You're going to use it like a ruler.
I don't see no-
So, oftentimes people refer to, please stop talking, refer to it as rise over run. I like to throw fall in there because sometimes the line is negative, in which case you don't have a rise, right? You have a fall, okay? So rise would be a positive slope, fall would be a negative slope, right?
Okay.
Because it's falling from left to right.
Plus? Hey, oh.
Positive or negative,
Positive number.
okay? So what we do is we find the rise or fall first. Always count up or down first because that's going to be your numerator, right? So this goes 1, 2, 3. So my slope is going to be positive 3 over. So I have rise of 3. My run is 6.
Wait, is that a W or what is that?
That's a 3.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was the side face double.
Yep. Rise is 3. Run is 6. And then I always simplify. So my slope is 1/2. This is supposed to be review.
Yes, and you go.
So I went up 3, that's my rise, over 6, that's my run.
So this gets harder?
Right?
Yeah, this is review.
This is hard.
Yep.
Have you started at like the bottom point and then gone over 1 and then over 2?
Yeah. So like in theory, yeah, up 1 over 2 is going to work for each point, right? But if you're only given these 2 points, that's why we have to simplify, right? Okay. Yep. I keep hearing everybody say we did this last year, and I'm pretty sure I started out by saying you did this last year. You guys remember me saying that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was clear up front. This is review. Yes.
So like in like third quarter, I was in normal math, right? So then I got into algebra, and then
Nope.
I didn't learn this.
You would have been put into pre-algebra.
And I didn't learn this.
You would have learned this at the end of last year.
We didn't learn it then.
Okay. Well, I don't know when you would have been learning it then.
We did?
Yeah, we
Then I'm fine, 'cause I thought it was- I don't know.
I'm going to guess you were taught the information and maybe you just weren't listening. I'm not an expert on KK yet, but I feel like that was probably what happened.
Yeah. I've known since 4th grade.
Okay, let's glue in another graph. Right underneath.
I did too.
Oh, are you doing the test? Are you putting all the tests all in PowerSchool at the same time? Or are you doing it all as
Haven't graded a single test yet, so no plan in place for that. Okay, another way you can find slope is with a slope formula. So let's just draw our line here first. Somebody's missing a glue cap over here. I don't know who doesn't have one, but there's one on the ground.
Does it matter? What's it called? The cap. Does it matter?
What's it called?
Because your thoughts are in pencil and then your lines are. Does it matter?
Nope.
On a test, do you want us to draw an arrow?
Yeah, because it's a line. It keeps going forever and ever.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we have the rise over run counting up over method. Sometimes you'll just be given ordered pairs, and so there's a strategy for finding slope if you don't have a graph. So the slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1.
Wait, why 2?
Why is it 2 so small?
Because it's a subscript. We'll talk about it in a second.
Not minus 1.
Of course they do. Am I wrong?
Okay. So in this situation, our ordered pairs are 0, 2, and 5, negative 1. Right? Now, I get it that you could probably just count and find your slope, but I want to show you how to find it without counting rise and run. Okay? So these ordered pairs, I always say the one furthest to the left is the first ordered pair, and then the second ordered pair would be the one on the right. So because I have a first ordered pair and a second ordered pair, that's why I label them with the little 1s and 2s. So I have an x1, a y1, x2, y2. That tells me this is my first ordered pair, this is my second ordered pair. Now I take these numbers and put them into this formula, and I subtract them, the y2 minus y1, the x2 minus x1, and I get my slope. So y2 is negative 1, y1 is 2, x2 is 5, x1 is 0. So I label them, x1, y1, x2, y2, and then I put them into this formula. I put the value for y2 where the y2 is. Everybody seeing what I'm doing here? So then when I subtract them, what's negative 1 minus 2? What's 5 minus 0?
5.
So my slope, this shouldn't say y here, this should say m, is negative 3/5. If I had just counted, it would have been down 3 over 5. That would have been the fall, negative 3 over 5. Sometimes you'll be given a graph. Sometimes you'll just be given 2 ordered pairs. So you guys need to know how to find the slope just from ordered pairs. Yes?
How did you know what ordered pair was like the x1 and the y1 or like the x2 and the y2?
Can someone tell Addison what I said when I was going over it? Not because I'm saying, I just want someone else to say it out loud so you can hear it.
I know it.
Okay, Kike.
The farthest to the left is first one.
Yep. So I just in my mind say, all right, the first one I see is my first ordered pair, so that's going to be x1, y1. The second ordered pair I see will be my second ordered pair, x2, y2.
Oh, okay. First is 1, second is 2.
Yep.
Let's just make
Yes.
That's like the most basic summary.
So on the test and stuff,
Mhm.
when we're counting up a line, and it won't matter, but would you rather us go like down or up first or sideways?
Always up or down first.
Okay.
Always. Rise or fall first, put it in your numerator. Run will always go. That way, wait a second, please. That way, you'll know right away if it's a positive or negative slope.
Okay.
If you rose, it's a positive. If you fell, it's a negative. If you do your run and then it gets confusing.
Yeah.
Yep. And that way, you're also always going left to right. Yep.
And
Okay.
then- wait, sorry. If we did go over first, would it be negative over negative, and then if it was positive, it would be negative over negative? And then it would be positive eventually.
Kind of, yeah. Yep. Okay, next page. Finding slope from a table.
Are we gonna need graphs?
Uh,
It says finding slope from a table.
Nope, I just gave you the 2 for the ones for today. You only needed 2. It's okay. Finding slope from a table. This is Mrs. Marsh. I sure do.
I'm calling it that's
Thank you. Bye. Bye, Callie. You can just check in on the notes on the video when you'll know where to pick it up. No, you get to keep it. It's yours to have and love forever. Yep. Okay. So maybe you guys remember from 7th grade that the abbreviation for slope is M. I don't know why. I didn't decide it. It's just a mathematical thing. So M is the abbreviation for slope.
Is there something for S?
I'll bet it's like in Latin or something. Slope is like something that starts with N.
I've looked it up. I don't know. There's no like easy catchy reason why. Okay. So remember, we're trying to find the rise or fall over the run, right? So which of my rise or fall, my x values or my y values? Think about rise or fall on the graph. Which axis is that dealing with? Y-axis. So this is where people get confused because they always it's on the left, it should go in the numerator, but that's not the case. Rise or fall is my y, that's going to go in my numerator. Run is my x, that value is going to go in my denominator. So I need to find out what's happening between each of these y values. What math is taking place to get from this one to this one, this one to this one?
Going down.
Okay? By 6.
Oh.
Minus 6, minus 6.
Oh.
So my rise or fall is negative 6. How about my run? Plus 3. So my run,
Is there ever gonna be multiplication?
not for slope. No, that wouldn't be a constant rate of change. So then I always simplify. So I have negative 2 over 1, so my slope is negative 2. Okay. So if this was on a graph, it would be going down from left to right. You were looking at, you would be looking at.
Question, like you're given a table and you have to say if it's going down or up.
Or you'd have to tell me the slope. So your answer would let me know that you know it's either positive or negative, right? In a second, we'll draw Mr. Slope Face. You guys know Mr. Slope Face?
Nope.
Okay, this will be fun. Here's our next table. So remember, our rise, fall is our y value. Our run is our x value. So what's happening for the y values? What's the change?
It's constant.
changing?
It's just 0, right? So 0 change, 0 change. So my numerator is going to be 0. How about my run? Plus 2.
So if nothing's changing, will always be 0.
Well, there's a not quite. Depends on if it's the run that's not changing or the rise that's not changing. Okay. So all y values are the same, right? So picture a graph right now, and picture what would it look like for that line on that graph if all of the y values are the same.
Straight line.
Whatever way this is.
Horizontal.
Yeah.
Yep. So you have a horizontal line, which actually does have a slope of 0. Okay. Horizontal is across, and here's how I remember that.
Are you sure that's how you spell horizontal?
Yep.
Sure.
Okay, so the way I remember horizontal, if I look at the Z, it has 2 horizontal lines in it, right? So that helps me remember horizontal, because the Z has,
And because the V is like the line stretch up and down.
and then for vertical,
When I see the vertical, that's not how I think of it.
the L is vertical.
And the R.
And T.
Where was this when I needed it? Like,
Exactly. I got confused on signs.
Guys, you still have so much to learn. Don't worry, your brains are just ready, right? So you're going to learn all about it. Okay. Here we go for example 3.
oh, this is just the same thing. Somehow, like, every time, I only got exactly 5 spaces. But, covering exactly 5 of the blue lines. Like, every time, take that down.
Okay, so my rise or fall is what? Plus 6. And my run changes 0. So that tells me all x values are the same. So if all y values gave me a horizontal line, what are all x values going to give me?
Vertical.
Vertical line. And then I think you guys probably learned this last year. You probably had to watch the Mr. Slope Dude video where you'd say, this is 0 fun. This is 0 fun. Did you guys have to watch that?
No.
We'll watch it tomorrow. Okay, so our slope was undefined if it's vertical, meaning you can't take 6 and divide it by 0 people. That, if you did it in your calculator, you get an error. That's how you know the slope is undefined. But if it's a horizontal line, your slope is 0, always. Okay? So before we go on to finding slope from an equation, we're going to draw Mr. Slope Dude. You know what? Maybe we'll watch that video now. We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, so next page, first we're going to draw Mr. Slope Face, and then maybe we'll watch Mr. Slope Dude. So here we go. Mr. Slope Face is going to be life-changing. I promise you.
Like,
As in, it's going to make your life so much easier.
number 3 is all x values are the same, right?
How is that like so
Huh?
Mine looks like a little
bit?
All x values are the same.
Okay,
Wait, are we gonna need this page for something else?
yeah, this is going to be in your notes.
Just this? No, I mean like how we put something on.
No, just this.
Oh, okay.
Looks like a baby that
So we've got Mr. Slopeface here. I was taught this by a student who had had Miss Coons. So my first year of teaching, she had taught it to them as 7th graders. And it just made my life so much easier because oftentimes we forget which is zero slope and which is undefined, right? Which is a horizontal line 0, is a vertical line undefined, I don't remember, right? So this is kind of like your fail-safe. And you can always like picture this poor man's face and it'll help you remember. And I'm saying poor man because he's had better days. Okay, I'm going to draw it and you're going to be like, yeah, no, he's sad. Okay.
We're going to draw it after you draw it or with you?
You guys can draw it with me.
Okay.
So right here we have a line going up and to the right. So this is a positive slope. That's one of his eyes.
Well, this is my draw.
And then we have a line going down and to the left. That's a negative slope. He's sad.
Poor man.
He's had better days. Then we have a nose. That's a vertical line. And that is an undefined slope. So we put a little U under there for undefined. Those are his little tiny nostrils. Right? He's not smiling. And then we have his mouth, which is a horizontal line with zeros on the end. So right here, you can see positive goes up, negative goes down. A vertical line is undefined, and a horizontal slope is 0. Tells you everything you need to know about slope. Okay, that's where we're going to stop for today.